Awesome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. A couple other people just trickling in here, so I'll just wait another second. But we've been hard at work on our Maxima Bots project, which is an extra bonus for anybody subscribing to Content Maxima. Rob and I have opened it up, so it doesn't matter what tier you're subscribing to. You can use Maxima Bots, and then based on your level of subscription, the files that you can export out of Content Maxima into Maxima Bots will be determined on which tier of the software or which subscription of the software that you have, right? And which modules you have access to. But again, it's a useful bonus for absolutely everybody who follows us and is interested in what we're doing. It's also a huge learning and teaching opportunity as Rob and I are deploying one of the largest AI agent libraries out there. I'd like to think it's one of the most advanced, if not the most advanced, especially given our focus on training. I think there are other people that are better bot builders, but we're going to eclipse them when we really figure this out. We're very much hot on that trail. So Paul's asking quick if we had a call last week. Yeah, Paul, we're doing these every Monday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern for the foreseeable future. It's just a time that Rob and I can get together. Our schedules have been crazy busy, but things are going to slow down and open up a little bit more. Maybe we'll be able to come at you guys a few more times, more spontaneous, and maybe hit some other times for people around the world that can't make the 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. There'll always be replays, assuming our software records the webinar. Sometimes we have problems that happen to us once, but so far we've been able to record all of the info. You're saying you never received the info. Yeah, we're going to get better, Paul, about marketing these webinars earlier in the day so that we give you a heads up and then reminding you again right as we go live. So just assume every Monday we're going to be doing these, and we will get better at notifying you all. Again, we've been neck deep in building and not being good marketers because we're trying to get everything ready here for 2026, because as you guys know, you've been early supporters of us. We will be opening up the floodgates. We will be running ads. We will be increasing the members of this community and starting to build it in 2026 and getting more people to know about Maxima Bots as an opportunity that is different but aligned with Content Maxima. So again, we are always open for Q&A here tonight. So if you have a question, you can drop it in the Q&A area. If we don't see any immediate questions, I'd like to give you all a little bit more of a tour of Maxima Bots and show you what we've been working on. And again, reiterate why we're doing this. So I want to say, just so everybody hears it, and if I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. We built Maxima Bots because we realized that not everyone was going to love or know what to do with the Content Maxima data. So Content Maxima is really powerful because it exports all sorts of marketing intelligence and data that you can then bring into your campaigns. For people who are not so data savvy or just not as comfortable or not veteran marketers or doing something, you might be a veteran marketer, but you're doing something outside of your normal wheelhouse and you'd like to do a really good job at it, but you're not sure where to begin. This is where Maxima Bots is going to help you, because we actually train the bot on whatever industry and niche that you want it to be trained on. And then you can export these, call them reports or strategies or calendars or tangible items that you can go away with. So the reason we did this is we wanted to have residual appeal to our customers. We wanted to create an opportunity to build a great affiliate program too. So those of you who are not sure how you're going to make money online or with AI, or how you're going to make more money than you already are, we wanted the software itself and Maxima Bots to be an avenue for you if you'd like to do affiliate. So I'm going to get into all of that. Again, if there are Q&A at any time, just drop them in and we will take a look at them. So the big update over the past week or two here is we're starting to build out the site to be a little bit more friendly for the users when they land. I'd love to get a couple more testimonials. So far we have, I brought Bradley Benners over, and I have one from Jeff Mork. He was able to use one of our Maxima bots, and he was able to improve the ranking, a map pack ranking for one of his clients by putting in Q&A and service descriptions. So he uploaded his niche and industry to the GBP bot. He generated what was to be used on that bot, I assume the GBP posts, and then using those trigger words and keywords, those helped align that profile better, and he's seeing results already in just a couple days. So that was a really nice testimonial. If any of you have testimonials as we go further and further down this road, please email us, please send it in. We'd love to feature you and your story, your brand, and let people know how and why people might be using these bots. I've added a whole section down below that show you visually the categories that we have right now. This is not set in stone. I will remind you that this whole project of Maxima Bots kind of came out of the sky, to be honest. Like, we knew Content Maxima was very powerful, but all of our early users were like, hey, I've been using your file in AI, and have you ever tried that? And so this is why we built this. So this is a nice visual way to see the types of bots we have, the top level categories, and then how many bots are in each one of those sections. We, of course, can change this around. We can take your requests, add in new ones, remove ones that we dislike. The whole point of this is to have a beautifully curated library to help you. Mostly our bots are going to be marketing and business focused, right? We are marketers, all types of digital marketing, digital advertising, anything online. That's where we want to focus. There are, of course, the opportunity to build bots for very specific industries or use cases. But for us here, Rob and I, our interest is in the digital marketing space. So that's where all of our bots are now. But there's some really cool branches opening up. So for example, micro SaaS. So creating software as a service through vibe coding, putting out these micro apps or micro SaaS is a whole new industry that's exploding because of AI. This here, Maxima Bots, is a prime example of a micro SaaS. This was built off of a data set, right? And this was built off of concepts and theories very quickly. For me to have built this vibe coding in a few weeks is crazy. Yes, I've put a lot of hours in now, but I would have never in a million years imagined that a result could come out so nice so quickly. So it's a whole new avenue for you guys. It's something that we can do further training on. If you have questions or if you're already doing some vibe coding, I'd love to hear from you guys. Again, I'm trying to be transparent, share my experience here as a founder at Content Maxima and, you know, the driving force here behind these bots now. But the category pages, we've put in a little bit more content. Again, to be honest, less for you guys. Now we want to see, can we make this little app SEO friendly? Can we push it out into the world? Can we get cold traffic coming in? Can we interest people in trying Maxima Bots for their small business, for their agency, as a freelancer? I want to create so much value in this library that you guys never want to go anywhere else, and that all your other tools, you just care less about them, right? Like, we want to be the subscription that you guys, that it hurts to shut off, right? We want you guys to run your business operations with us. We want to learn from each other and build the community here. So these pages, these category pages, are now optimized to start to pick up more people, bring in more people to our community. There is a top recommended couple, and then the rest of them are listed below there. And then some FAQs. We've built out a lot of these category links so that you guys can jump between some of the robots. And a couple other features I want to show you that we've added in. One of the things I just added in is a little timer in the upper right-hand corner to show you how many hours you've saved. So for every report you might run, for every file you might export, you know, how long would it have taken you to do that? You know, if you did a bunch of social posts, that would have been a 3-hour task. All right, we increment the timer 3 hours. So I want you to actually see how much time we're saving you in your strategy, for your agency, for your freelance work, for your brand. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're doing digital marketing, you know, we want to be that go-to tool. If we hop over to the bot gallery, we can pick a couple of these. We're still hammering out API calls. Everybody who uses OpenAI has a different tier of API that allows you to talk across that API at certain rates. The higher your tier, the faster and the more you can talk about. The lower your tier, a little bit slower and less you talk about. The new ChatGPT, or I'm sorry, OpenAI 4.1 model that we are on now has opened the doors to a lot more context than ever before. So let me jump into one of the bots so you guys can see this update as well. We've tried to put in some key points of what this bot does. We have a whole about section, again, mostly to generate content for crawlers and SEO purposes, but is still very useful information to you guys and links to other similar robots that you might want to try. So this has all been added in for each bot. The other thing here that's new is we realized that not everybody wants to keep uploading their files from Content Maxima. It's annoying. It's you know, if you're running lots of reports, it'd be so much easier if you didn't have to do that. So now when you upload your intelligence files, they will stay. So you notice here on my interface, it says 6 files loaded from a previous session. So we're keeping like a 30-day local memory in your browser, right, in the cache, and it'll hold those 6 files until you decide to clear them. And what's nice about that is most of you are at any given time, you might be working in one niche or one industry, right? Oh, I'm doing trees, I'm doing plumbing, I'm doing whatever. So you can keep that core intelligence loaded. And then no matter what bot you're using, no matter what client you're doing it for, it's just there for you. So you don't have to keep uploading it. Eventually, this is what Rob's going to be working on over the next couple of weeks. We'd like for you to be able to actually input here what you want from Content Maxima and not have to be in Content Maxima to use the Maxima bots. That way you have a seamless, super fast experience. Rob is working on an API that Maxima bots will be able to use, but more importantly, you know, some of the bigger companies, brands, enterprise companies that are interested in using data to fine-tune their own AI models will be able to tap into that AI. That's our goal eventually, is to help people train their AI better from the start. Because one of the things I've been talking about over the past couple of weeks, if you've been coming to the webinars, if you've been listening, is the average business does not have well-formatted data. You can go into any size company, find 2 people that do the same exact job, look at the exact same files that they've created, and I'm sure there'll be differences. You know, maybe employee A uses purple font and employee B uses black font, right? These little things that might not matter to you and I, but when you're putting this into a large language model, when you're trying to train AI, these differences in formatting, these differences in file types, these differences in structure, they are going to cause you to get poorer results if it's not organized, if it's not standardized, if it's not optimized. It needs to all be given to the AI in the same precise format so that it's a clean pattern that it can attach onto. And that's how AI gives you magic results. If you're not getting magic results, I don't care what AI you're using right now, there's a good chance whatever data you're starting with might not be as tuned as it could be. I mean, you know, a good thing to talk about would be like people's, I don't know, resumes or something. Everybody's got a different kind of resume, and wouldn't it be nice if they could all be formatted the same? Well, some people submit resumes as Word docs. Some of them submit them as PDF. Some of them submit them, you know, multiple pages or 1 page. So there's so much difference in the formatting that trying to get AI to I guess, give you a consistent output is a nightmare. So we've been trying to get you guys consistent outputs. So I'll keep going because I know I'm on a soapbox here. I want to show you more tangible results. So you can clear these files. They'll stay loaded. You can see what the files are. Then down here, the business context, because of the new AI, OpenAI updates and the APIs, excuse me, we've put a 5,000 character limit on the context. We just don't want you to feed too much. We don't want you to have errors. We don't want you to break anything. And it'll notify you if the company information you're using is getting a little bit too long. But this will stay in here, this information. And what's nice is you can save a template. So I can clear all these files. Let me do that quick. Clear files. Let me just delete in here. And I'm just going to say max. Let's actually do, let's say I was a tree service provider. And let's say this is the, I'm going to say company number 1, business info is what I really wanted to say. So what I want you to see is you can now save a template. And then you can add multiple. And then you can load, and I didn't change the name because I'm a dummy, of the, let me do this here. There we go. So the point of this is, let's say you're a freelancer or an agency, you load your Content Maxima intelligence files on the industry and niche that you're targeting. And let's say you have, I don't know, 5 or 6 different clients in that industry or niche. You can then just quickly toggle the business information and load a template for that business. So it was an attempt to kind of streamline this process for anybody who's doing agency type work who might want to use one of our files for more than one of their clients at a time. So you have the ability to save. You also have the ability right here to delete these templates. We're not trying to build a super robust, system that keeps track of everything you've historically done and does all sorts of crazy analytics and all these bells and whistles yet. We're trying to really just focus on making useful robots for you guys that do all sorts of content things and planning things. So that is the big, I guess, core update. The other thing that I wanted to show you guys is the affiliate program, because we realize that Content Maxima is exciting and can drive you guys business, but we realize that Maxima Bots is going to have an even greater appeal to people, because the average person can now rest assured that they're doing a marketing task that is backed by, data science, is backed by very structured prompts, is backed by the best AI models. Everything's kind of been done for them, right? So we want to help build the community. We want to help you guys earn money in this. So we want to make it twice as nice. We've talked in the past that if you're an affiliate, we would give you a 15% for life. Rob and I never want to take that away from you. We really want to build affiliates. But more importantly, we understand that 15% for life, like, okay, there's other companies that may do more than that, or it's going to take a while for me to see this. We'd much rather give you some quick cash up front and then keep you for life with us as an affiliate. And that way you always are getting a quick hit of cash, and then you can build your affiliates up over time. So we're going to give 75% of anybody's subscription, whichever one they choose. Could be the analyze, could be the optimize, could be the maximize. We'll go over that in just a second. But I kind of wanted to show you guys that, hey, if you had referred 10 people, that upfront money you're going to get is $727.50. And then every month after that, assuming all those people stay, those 10 people, you're getting $145.50 a month paid to you, right? Same thing if you're getting bigger into affiliate marketing, you start to do 50 or 100. We just wanted to show you what these numbers are. So we want to pay you twice. We want it to be exciting to get someone to sign up and for you to get paid for that. And then we want it to be exciting that it stacks, right? And as you can see, if you take your affiliate marketing seriously, if you guys start getting into the hundreds of people, you could very much replace a day job with this, especially if you factor in the fact that every new sign up you're going to be getting, you're always going to be getting a bump of cash that month too if you're adding new people. And then you always have your base that if you didn't add new people, you always have that to fall back on. So we're trying to make it a generous, appealing affiliate program. We need help. It's just Rob and I. We're not some big enterprise company. We need to push the message out there. So again, the whole goal of this is come 2026, we're going to start activating ads for ourselves. We're going to start building the community, forcing it to grow, right? Because if you don't actually go out there and start knocking on doors, it's never going to grow. We appreciate all of you being with us, this long, this far, this early. You've known us from other places, and we're happy to have you here. So know now that the affiliate is being listed on Maxima Bots too. This way, again, we hope that you start to tell people about Maxima Bots, just like you start to tell people about Content Maxima. So it was a huge opportunity for us to take this experiment and literally turn it into another product, turn it into an affiliate program, turn it into a learning experience. We're still fighting with the APIs, and we're fighting with OpenAI as they make big changes, and trying to give you guys the best experience possible, smoothest experience possible. All that being said, the only last thing I want to say to you is, as you use these robots, again, we have the ability now to take an end goal, an end product, some sort of sheet or report or something that you guys do on the regular, and we could actually reverse engineer it, code it, put it in one of these modules, and it could be the Ed module, the Rob module, the Paul module, the Dottie module. Like, it could be shared with other people, and it could be super useful because you might be doing something in your work, in your agency, in your freelance work that you think's, really useful for people. It might not be something we have, or it might be different from what we have. And we now have that opportunity to implement those things. And then as long as you guys are willing to rate these bots and tell us the ones that are good, the ones that are bad, we're going to, again, curate this library, pay attention to it, build it out to be all of the tools that you need, right? And as a paying customer, your voice will be heard. We want to build the tools that you need for your business. Now, it's not going to be customized specific just to your business, but like I said, if there's a repetitive task that you do that's universally helpful to others, like, let's make it a Maxima bot. This is our first stab, as these 2,100 bots. And these are the categories that we could brainstorm and come up with using different AIs and having lots of conversations. This for sure doesn't have everything it could, and it for sure is going to have, some bumps along the way, but we appreciate you being here with us as we can show you that this has now totally come to life, and we're starting to gear up to push this out. So, Rob, what do you think of all that? That's a mouthful.
Oh, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for next year, getting everything started. I enjoy the banter where Paul's always teasing us about haha good, getting it out a little bit quicker. But part of it is this Monday night 6:30. We kind of that was our tentative plan, and so far we've been able to do it. So now we'll be able to actually schedule them so that they're scheduled out. And I won't just be scheduling them every Monday and then send it out. It'll be on a basically a distribution. So you'll only have to sign up for the webinar once, or once a year, or once every 6 months, whatever we do. So we're not building them every day. So then you'll get emails, reminder emails, stuff like that. So.
And then you don't have to rely on us reminding you, because at the moment we're not doing the best job at it, right, Paul?
I think we're killing it.
Yeah, we're killing it, Paul.
We're living out to our acronym, bad marketers.
Yes, we can be punny because we don't want to be bad marketers, but that's the pun of it.
Yeah.
So let's see here. We have a quick question from Paul. He said, I tried the local schema bots, could not get a result, just been swamped, so didn't get a chance to submit this. Okay, yeah, let's try a local schema bot and see how it does. Again, I don't know that I've ever run one, and I don't know that it's fully going to make sense, but that's what we're here to do, is to figure out bots that make sense for you. And then let me see, there was another mention in chat. Tanu, Much blessing in y'all have done. Is there a sales deck we could use as a resource or talk track for potential individuals interested? So yeah, to be honest with you, these are the types of suggestions and feedback we need from you guys. So yeah, you're probably going to need some sales deck type stuff. You're going to need some videos that I haven't built for Maxima Bots yet. I feel like Content Maxima has a pretty good training library. There's a lot of good videos in there. Our YouTube's filled out with these Monday night webinars as well. So there's a lot of content on that side of the line. But yes, to your point, absolutely. We'll put together some sales deck, sales material type stuff. We'll put together a couple of videos and maybe even some ads we've been working on, because ultimately we want to just show people, if you have a task in marketing, advertising, promotion, any of that, you can come in, train any bot that you want, and immediately get some sort of export or result. Dottie's saying, do we have access to all these bots with our Content Maxima login? Yes, Dottie. So this is our free gift
jump
to
in
you.
real quick, Ed.
Go for it.
Before you go to that one. So what he was asking for is like a sales deck, and he's talking about more for affiliates. If we can, if we may eventually pre-make some stuff for you guys to use, I'm sure we will. Like I said, we're just getting this launched, and yeah, we'll put together some stuff for you to help build your web page out and to send out to your email list, and like some different images and different stuff like that. In addition to just the huge long YouTube videos of us walking through stuff, but something that's kind of, that's our plan, is to kind of start the marketing side of this, is to do that for our, for us to run ads, but then also then, some of them you guys can use, maybe you can come up with and do copy that you can send out to your email list and stuff like that. So will we have it next week? Probably not, but I'm just saying it's on our roadmap. So yeah.
Yes, we definitely owe you guys some bundles of stuff. Paul's pointing out that AI could put the sales deck together and we don't have to, right? Yes, that's
Exactly.
very, very true, Paul. In fact, what was it, 2-3 weeks ago, I didn't have a slide deck, so I quickly generated one while we were all chit-chatting just to have something to look at. But yes, we want to do a little bit better than that. But yeah, we'll get you guys a bundle together. And Dottie, just so you can see, when you go to maximabots.com, what'll happen is you'll pick a bot. You can browse all the bots, and try this local business schema generator that Paul was talking about. So what'll happen, Dottie, is when you click this generate output button, the very first time it's going to prompt you for your email address. If you're a paying subscriber to Content Maxima, it authenticates against Content Maxima and says, is this Dottie? Yeah, it is. Okay, yeah, she pays. She's confirmed. Gives you access to the software. Then if you click the generate button again, it's going to ask you for your OpenAI API key. And all that is, again, is if you're in the Content Maxima app, and I don't care if people see this because the API key is so freaking long and I can always kill it. But yeah, in your settings in Content Maxima, you'll have your OpenAI API key. You'll copy this huge secret string over and you'll paste it in. So you just have to provide it your email to authenticate you, and you have to give it your API key. And the reason we're doing it this way rather than all the accounts and stuff like that is we want you to be able to let your marketing assistants, your personal assistants, your VAs, your team members, we want them to be able to use the bots without all of your logins and credentials. You can issue each one of them their own OpenAI API key that allows you to track their usage. It allows you to control how much they spend, and it allows you to cut them off if they ever go rogue on you. So we've said this for the past couple of weeks. We highly suggest that you issue API keys to anyone who might be helping you in your business operation. That's just how we're going to do this, because again, we're not trying to kill you with having to have extra seats or pay per head or whatever. This is truly a bonus. This is a example. When we say, when we preach doing things, we don't want to just preach it. We actually want to do it. So we have said to people, Content Maxima is a framework that you can build other stuff on. And a lot of people have been like, well, what do you mean, Ed? What do you mean, Rob? And this is just the first example. Rob and I have a bunch of other ideas that we'd like to bring to life. maybe stuff in the press release industry, maybe stuff in the e-commerce industry. We have some other crazy robots and things that we would like to build off of Content Maxima's marketing intelligence. So it just gives us a really good opportunity to do that. Hey, Paul, are you Windows again? What was Paul's niche? I always forget. Was it web? Was it window installation? Do you remember, Rob?
I think it was window installation.
Window installation. I think that's right. So let me look back here. I'm going to upload some Content Maxima files. So if you've never seen this before, and if you're new with us tonight, these files, it's 4 Excel files, 2 PDF files. These are exported out of our Content Maxima software. So when you subscribe to Content Maxima, this is what the interface looks like. There's an analysis report, a matrix report, a personas report, pathways, perspectives, and signatures. Those 6 files are all created now very easily with this Train AI button to put in a specific keyword. So what's great about this new Train AI button that Rob put in is you just put in your idea, right? And you click train. And instead of having to go through the software one by one and getting each of the reports, this automatically does all 6 for you. So it's going to save you a ton of time. Once you have all 6 of those, you're going to bring them over here and upload them like I just showed you. Now, again, I'll remind you, once Rob has the API done, our hope is that instead of having to go back and forth between softwares, you can just be right here and be like, hey, I need such and such an industry training, train my robots, boom, and it's done for you. So that's the goal. We'll get there. For now, it's a little bit of a labor of love, a little manual that you have to come over to Content Maxima, export the 6 reports, come over to Maxima Bots, upload the 6 reports. That's all the work you have to do. Once they're uploaded here, again, they'll stay uploaded here until you clear them out or until 30 days passes. Then your business information, we have a template in the members area, or this could literally be anything that you want to provide, up to 5,000 characters that talks about your business. So in this case, I'm just going to say Paul's Window Company. I'll say, I don't know, specializes in window installation, repair, and removal. So I have the Content Maxima intelligence files. I have a little bit of context that I'm adding. You do not have to do this. I'll click that generate output. And this now, just so you know, on the OpenAI 4.1 can take quite a few minutes depending on the task and your niche. So we could be sitting here for anywhere up to 5 minutes. It's usually faster, usually 2 or 3 minutes, but it's generating. So it's using all of that intelligence and all of that data set you gave it. And then it's using any business context you give it, and it's going to generate you the suggested output. So right now we're using a local business schema generator. I don't know how well this is going to do, Paul, because I barely gave it any information to write schema, but I didn't give it a website. I didn't give it a phone number. I didn't give it anything. So let's just see what it does. I really don't know what it'll do. If you are truly going to be writing schema using this bot to give it a shot, then you for sure want to have your name, address, phone number, services, some of the pages on your website, important pages, right? Quote pages, contact pages, about pages, any of the descriptions about that company, founders, information, that kind of stuff could all be put in here. But as you see, we're waiting because a lot of information is passing over that API. And now with 4.1, it allows 1 million tokens. So that means we can actually push about 8 full novels, 8 books of content in one API call over to OpenAI. So for the first time, we were having troubles a few weeks ago, just running into limitations. For the first time, I feel like those limitations are lifted, and we can experiment more. So we're still waiting here. Rob, I see Dottie's coming in with, does this replace Schema Tech? Do you want to answer that?
So no, it won't replace Schema Tech. It does it a lot deeper. One of my goals long-term is to after the last couple of years with Schema Tech and the changing the business structures and everything, my goal is to eventually merge some of this and make Schema Tech where we can use a bot to help write schema in that way. It'll take a lot more coding and stuff than this because it's going to be a lot more detailed. So it does better interlinking everything, obviously. But that's one of my goals, is to help to even improve the whole schema side, because especially with AI, schema is going to probably become more and more important, because even though most people write schema for Google, so they only go onto the Google part and they put what Google suggests in the different schema types. With AI, you can use a lot more schema that even Google doesn't necessarily say they want for a local business or things like that. And Google's basically telling you what they want is because it's only stuff that they're going to put in their, like their, whatever they used to call it, the little drop downs and stuff on your business. So my guess, or not my guess, is AI can read a lot more of that. So the more we can interlink the data for AI, the higher likelihood to get your information into AI, what's it called, outputs, or the AI summary at the top. I don't even know what the heck they call it right now. My brain's not working, but the AI overview, right? So the more you can feed it in schema and help better connect all the dots, because that's all AI is trying to do, is connect all the dots. I think the more powerful schema will actually become over time. So that's my goal. Doesn't replace it. It just is a different, this is more like a, if it works, obviously right now it's having an issue, but this is to give you the template, and then you'll have to add to it as you want, because these templates are going to be based on what most templates are online already. And for those that have taken Schema Tech, you realize how in-depth that one can get.
So Paul, this is the fun of trying to launch 2,100 robots at once, is some of them break, some of them have problems, but I will tell you we have a great debugging system right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go look and see what's going on with the activity logs on the back end here. And we'll see what might be throwing, because it doesn't like the local schema bot for some reason. So it looks like I'm having some sort of browser side issue, Chrome browser issue at the moment on that local schema generator. So I'll have to debug that particular one. We'll try another one, because obviously we want to make sure people see that these things work, that they're not all broken. But we are debugging bot by bot. So if a bot is not working, you guys just let us know. You can submit a ticket. Again, contentmaxima.com, and the contact page, we have the ticketing system. I like to show everybody this because they might miss it. You go to contact, and in the bottom right, there's this need help, and it opens our ticketing system. So if you'll do it this way, then we can formally address it and get things knocked out. So right now, Paul, local schema bot needs to be looked at. I don't know why it's failing, but we can try a different bot. If there's another request, please let us know. Yeah, it's not just you, Paul. Like I said, it is a huge feat to get this number of bots up and running, and then really moving forward, our work is the curation, is the fixing and patching and making things better. So let me see. Let's do another bot or scenario just to try one.
And to reiterate what Ed just said there, if you run into one that doesn't work, you don't have to wait till Monday to ask us. Just send a support ticket, because like on this one, we're having some type of browser issue where it's blocking something, and we can go ahead and start debugging the ones that as they come up, right? So if you're using one, you get an error, you run it a few times, just send it in to us. So.
All right, I'm just looking at both sides. We got questions coming in multiple places. Tanya says, what else do you all feel is going to have a high impact on local small business rankings in 2026? I believe having an LLM profile and engagement is important. I think Rob and I could both speak to this, but the biggest thing that we see, and we preach this, if you haven't seen the webinar from 2 weeks ago, maybe last week, please go to the YouTube channel and watch it. We talk a little bit about this, but ultimately Rob and I, we are brand guys. We want you to build a brand, but I think when people say like build a brand, right? It's, I don't know, it's misconstrued for boardrooms and creative designers, and I don't know that it resonates. Like building a brand, I don't think that resonates to everybody, right? What we want people to realize is that much like one of these DNA companies, right? Let's say, what is it, the Ancestry DNA or 23andMe? Like, think about this. They take a swab, a single swab, they send it to you in the mail, you put it in your mouth, you put it in a test tube, you send it off. They can tell you from that little swab, like, you know, where you came from, like what ethnicity you are, what part of the world, what towns, you know, who you're related to. That is wild if you think about it. DNA is a wild, wild thing. It's no different than the digital world. People just haven't put this all together yet because not everybody is like a data scientist like Rob, and they're not thinking the way that Rob thinks. Again, I didn't used to think this way. The only reason I think this way now is because I took Rob's courses and I started learning from Rob, and I started learning from other people that are focused on the brand science, the data science of a brand. So what do we think is going to have a high impact on local small business rankings? You need to first and foremost reverse engineer your industry or your niche's footprint. And Content Maxima does that. That's what the software does. It literally goes in and rips out the definition from the graph database. So it's no longer, well, I want to be such and such. What do I talk about? No, no, no. You have the topics, the precise topics to talk about. So Content Maxima helps you find that DNA sequence. Then you have to repeat that sequence, those words, those topics, those concepts. If you repeat those same words and topics and you do it everywhere, and you're going to say, well, what do you mean everywhere? Name a place: TikTok, YouTube, Vimeo, Pinterest, Instagram. I mean, we could go on for days, right? Your small business chamber website, Better Business Bureau, wherever you want to put your brand, wherever you are allowed to put your brand's data, you are expanding your footprint. And when you expand your footprint, most people stop there. They say, okay, great. Yeah, I have a social media profile. Yeah, I have this and that. No, no, no. Don't forget step 3, which is where the schema comes in, which is where we talk about the same as schema and claiming your digital properties. Because if you don't claim it in the schema, then the bots and the crawlers and the AI, they have to assume who you are. And here's a great example. If you have a company, you might have hired a freelancer to build your first Facebook page, and that freelancer may have sucked and you fired them. And then you went out and you worked with a different agency, and they made you another Facebook page because the freelancer you first hired didn't give you access to your Facebook page or lost the password or something. So now you got these 2 Facebook pages out in the world. This is very common. This happens all the time in businesses that I consult and audit for. Like, I've seen people that have like 3, 4, 5 Facebook pages, and I'm like, why do you have 5 Facebook pages? It's just like, oh, we just lost the password on the other one. So the problem with this is now you got 5 Facebook pages out in the universe, and you got all these crawlers and these recommendation engines and search engines and AI, and they're all like, okay, which one of these is yours? Which one's the most updated? Which one has the most recent information? Like, you're leaving it in the bot's hands to decide. And that's scary. They're probably not going to make the right decision. So that same as schema and claiming the footprint, saying, hey, these are all my profiles. And if they ever change, you lose your Facebook, you change it, you get banned, you got to open a new account. You can go back in and edit it out and say, no, no, that's not my Facebook now. This is my Facebook now. But giving them that ledger, that list of, hey, this is my brand. Here are all my assets on the internet. I'm connecting it for you. You don't have to do the work. That's what's going to drive the needle in 2026, because it's the same thing that's been driving the needle since the idea of things, not strings, came into be, which was what, 2016, Rob, with Google?
Yeah, somewhere back in there.
Somewhere back in there. So literally the internet's infrastructure, the data science part of it, hasn't changed since then. So there's all these marketers, there's all these people preaching this new stuff, AI, this and that, algorithms, blah, blah. The technology itself hasn't changed since 2016. So the method hasn't changed since 2016. It's nothing new, but it's vastly ignored. People, if you talk to SEOs and web people about schema, they're like, it's worthless. It doesn't help with ranking. And where Rob and I come from is the schema, the point of it's not to rank you. Will it help in ranking? Sure. It has a secondary effect, but that's not the primary reason. The primary reason is so that you establish your brand. You define your nodes or your pieces of data, and you tell the robot, this is me, this is who I am. So that way it doesn't assume, because if it just assumes, or if it's up to the robot, it's having a bad day, it's having a bad Monday, it went to crawl your Facebook page, but it decided, nah, I don't want to see that, it moved on. Well, how's it ever going to know your Facebook page? You might have to wait another month for it to come back, but if you had it in the list, it's being force fed that list. If it reads the list, it's got to read the list. You know what I mean? If you subjectively have all these profiles out there and you haven't connected them, then it's got to figure it all out, and it's not going to figure it all out. There's too much stuff out there, too much content, too many things for it to be looking for. So for your small business in 2026, please get your industry footprint. Repeat it everywhere. Maxima Bots is the solution to repeat it everywhere. Because whatever profile you're working on, whatever strategy you're looking for, there's a bot in here for you to help. And it'll use the words and the marketing information that you've uploaded. So that's how you're going to repeat it. And then the third step is the same as schema. That could be Rob's Schema Tech. It could be a schema plugin. It could be AI writing schema for you. We can go more into schema, but if there's one thing it's just the same as schema. And I'll show it one more time here. It was American Chiropractors that Rob has a example website for schema up that we can just look at. So there's no question about what we're talking about. So if I come in here and I do same as, this little block of code, that's what I'm talking about. It's nothing crazy fancy. You don't have to be a developer to understand this. All this means to search engines, AI, crawlers, robots, voice search, anything, right? This means to any robot that reads schema, this is my brand. This AmericanChiropractors.org, well, this is their blog spot. This is their Twitter.
Sharing that?
Can you see it or no?
All I see is Maxima Bots right now.
Thank you for letting me know. Let me try this again. All right. I'm going to do this again so everybody can see it. Here's the American Chiro site. I'm going to right click, say view page source. I'm going to do a control F. I'm going to type in same as. It's going to find this block of code. Again, nothing fancy, nothing crazy. So this says, this is American Chiro's blog spot. This is American Chiro's Twitter. This is its WordPress. This is its Tumblr. This is its YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. There's no longer subjectivity. There's no longer an assumption. The robot reads this and knows, matter of fact, these are your properties. It's up to you to tell the internet what your properties are. It's no different than in the real world. You'd go down to town hall. They'd have a ledger of what pieces of land you have a deed for. Same concept. Nobody talks about this from a branding standpoint. Nobody talks about the importance of this same as. Is there plenty of other important stuff you can do in schema? Yes, but if you don't do this one critical thing, you're leaving it up to the robots to try to understand you best. And once this is linked up, then you start to ask, well, how do we get into these, recommendations, these AI overviews, these snippets, all that stuff? It's going to be this way because this is its native tongue. It realizes, oh, you're looking for American chiropractors and you're searching on Instagram. Well, here's AmericanChiropractors.org. They're a reputable company or a reputable brand, and here's their website, and here it is on Instagram. It's going to feed and recommend what it knows confidently. If it's uncertain, that's when you're in the void. that's when you might not be found, because it's not quite sure who you are or what you do. So a couple other things coming in here. So what's your best recommendation for generating same as schema? So if you just want same as schema, ChatGPT or Claude or something will do that, right? Where you could just have it write same as schema. You can even go to schema.org and you could look at the different schemas. And I think we can do a search is maybe the better way to do this. I think I could do a search for same as and see if it's a property. Yeah, same as. So here's the property page. It's literally schema.org / same as, okay? I would feed this to whatever AI you use. I don't care if it's Grok or Claude or whoever, and just say to it, write me same as schema for here's my company's website. Here's my list of all my social profiles, my chamber listing, my, whatever you have out on the web, you're claiming it. It's important you claim it. And then have it generate the schema for you, and you could copy and paste it into the header of your website. If you want to take much more control, if you want to get specific on things like your products and services, if you have, let's say you're a chain, right? Chain business, you got 5 different locations, then you're going to want something like Rob's Schema Tech software, because Schema Tech is going to give you the ability as a non-coder to go into it and input information just in input boxes, right? Like filling out a form, and generate much more robust long form schema. But that's a big process. It's a big undertaking. A lot of people are lazy and don't want to do that. But if you're really going to try to clean up your brand and really promote your products and services and really get yourself into AI overviews, that's the way to do it. And just to be clear, what happens when you take this 3-part system?
I'm going to drop the link to free training on there too, guys, if you want to just go take it. There's upsells, so you can skip them or whatever, but that free training will at least help you to get started in your head dunking schema if you want.
This is the one I wanted to show you guys. So this is a brand that we took before having the right structure in place, before knowing how to speak to the robots and having the schema and, optimizing for AI and stuff, just being this normal website, small business, small little company. They had 286 SERP features, which, to be honest, for a small company, that's pretty good to start with. I know a lot of people that don't even have that because their website's not optimized at all, right? So they had 286 SERP features. Now, when we say SERP feature, it's like AI overviews, some of the FAQ answers that pop up immediately, any of that rich snippet or information that's like a no-click answer type information. Google's trying all sorts of stuff all the time, but those are what we're talking about. So I want you to see this. July 13th, 2024. We went into this business and we gave it Content Maxima and we gave it a whole new structure. Hey, this is how you need to structure your information and associate your brand to this new structure. So we doubled the traffic, which people are like, doubling traffic, who cares, right? Great. We doubled the traffic. We 19x'd the snippets and the features. So now, as of July 13th, 2025, 5,423 snippets. Do you know how many that is? Like, that is a lot for a small business to be ranking for. And what's amazing about it is a lot of people are upset about these snippets, right? They're taking away traffic. They're taking away this. They're taking away that. Well, what happens is because your brand starts answering all these questions, somebody who's in that industry, in that niche shopping, all of a sudden the different stuff that they're typing, like your name just keeps coming up, right? So it's not going to be that first answer that they get for free and that never came to your website that hurts you. That's actually starting to build your brand. And then ultimately, when they finally land on your website, they've seen you a few times. So we really find that linking up that schema the bots care about. The bots care about structure, because if you have the right sequence, that DNA sequence, then the robot can be like, there's Ed. He's half Italian, half English. His family's from southern Italy. This little town called Pesciata is where his mother's family grew up in. For it to know that about me off of the DNA sequence is crazy. But that's all this is your brand's DNA sequence being known. Once it's identified and known, then you're recommended. And it doesn't matter if they're on Facebook or Bing or Facebook or for all of these AIs, all of the robots, crawlers, all that stuff, and you're coming up in its answers. And all the times you're coming up in its answers, what do you think that's doing to the robot's mind? It's training it as well, because these things are auto ML, automatic machine learning, right? It's going to continuously learn and get better. And there's a scary part of that Rob talks about, where it learns from itself too. It learns from all our interactions with it. It learns from itself. It learns from what's on the web. So if you can get yourself in and get it thinking about you, the more it thinks about you, the more it rewards you. So get your structure right. The structure is everything. It doesn't care if you spent 18 hours and were crying over your blog article. It doesn't give a shit about you. I hate to say it. It's a robot. It just cares about structure. Once you realize,
You're freezing up for me, brother. I don't know if it's me or you or what's going on.
okay, I think we made it through.
Did you hear me?
Yeah, I did. I'm giving it a second.
Okay. Yeah, you're back on.
Are we good now? We're back. Yeah. So sorry, robots don't care about your feelings. It's hard to swallow that pill, but they don't care about your feelings. I've seen some people write beautiful articles, design beautiful websites, and it's not even in the index, so no one can find it. Never be seen. So don't let robots hurt your feelings. Force feed them what you want them to know. All right. Well, I probably went off the deep end on that question, but I hope it answered everything. Let's run. I was going to run a different bot, right? So what is Tenu, right? Tenu, what's your industry or niche? Like, what are you into? What are you trying to sell online or market online or promote online?
Content Maxima affiliate.
Content Maxima, of course.
Hey, I'm all for it, man. No, I don't know. I'm messing.
Yeah. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not Tenu, anybody else who hears me, I'll take an industry or niche, just so we can show a little bit, because we do have some new faces and names in here tonight. So we appreciate you being with us tonight. A process improvement company for small business owners. So process improvement is probably the top level keyword, right? A systematic way to make an organization's workflows better by finding and fixing inefficiencies, reducing waste, boosting productivity. I think that says I got a plugin over top of it. Increasing quality, saving time. Okay, that helps me understand, because I'm not in that industry. And you're saying you have an optical store as one of your clients too. Let's just see what process and improvement brings. I don't know, right? Like, what the heck? So I'm going to come over to Content Maxima. Under solutions, I've gone to train your AI. For the keyword, I'm going to put in process improvement. The model, I'm just going to leave it at 4.0 for now and click train AI. You'll see here it's going to bulk export analysis matrix, pathways, personas, perspectives, and signatures. I can download them all at once. If you try it on mobile, it'll only download the first file. So it might not make sense to do this on a mobile phone, but what's awesome about Content Maxima is it's lightweight enough that it works really, really nice on a mobile phone. And I use it all the time when I have conversations with people, like business meetings or networking or whatever. I'm always like, what's your niche? And I just like run it quick. And then I show them, I'm like, hey, this is what you need to be doing. And I show them right on the phone. It's a great sales tool because in a few seconds, you can tell people. You're almost like a business psychic is the only way I can describe it. You can almost like read their fortune and be like, hey, check this out. This is what you do. And this is probably why you're not ahead. And most small businesses, I think you guys know this, they don't have enough content out there to even compete. We talk about the 130 trillion pieces that were known by Google years ago. It was like 2019. It's 130 trillion. It's way over that now. There's so many pieces of content in existence that like you need to have a good little chunk. You can't just come to the internet with one page and expect to dominate anymore. It's too big. So yeah, I can download all the files or choose the individual file I want to download, but I'm downloading this process improvement. We can always do another one. We got some time. It's only 7:30. But now I'm going to come back over to Maxima Bots. I'm going to come. This is where Rob and I always start right now. It's something we call the money mapper. It's just a nice way to kickstart a brand or to realign your brand or to give your brand strategy. So I will upload these process improvement files. And then I need some sort of process improvement company. I'm just going to say process improvement consultant and see what comes up for me. I'm in the Albany, New York area. So my results are going to be different than your results, but I'm just going to find this website here. And I'm just going to be really, really lazy. And I'm just going to copy some of the content, like Control C. And I'm just going to paste it in for business context. Yeah, that's too much. All right, so that's not going to work. Let me do Grok quick because Grok's really fast at scraping stuff. So hold on. I'm going to go to Grok. Search quick for, and I don't have loyalty. If you ever ask me, like, why are you using a certain AI for a certain thing? They all have purposes in my mind. So I'm going to just copy the URL of this landing page. This is just a previous conversation I had going where I had it fill out some business information on the company. Again, we have this template file in the members area. It's nothing specific. It's just the name and the services they provide and the industry they're in and the niche and the target audience. And so I'm being lazy. I'm having AI fill this out. I always tell everybody, if you really care about your results and your clients, please take the time to do this better than the way I'm showing you. I just don't want to waste so much time on a live webinar, which is why I'm doing it the quick way. All right, so sorry, too many tabs. So I've uploaded process improvement files from Content Maxima. I'm going to give it some business context, and I'm going to click Generate Output. So essentially, it's going to take all those intelligence files, and it's going to map the topics to individual pages and help you build out your footprint. So again, if you're an existing brand or if you're a new brand, it doesn't matter because this is going to kind of show you that footprint that you can go to market with and that you can get ahead with. And it's going to do so much of the work for you because it's going to put it's going to give you titles. It's going to put them in categories or pillars. It's going to suggest calls to action. It's going to suggest the slug, the URL that you should actually put the content at. So again, it takes a few minutes. It's a lot of data being crunched over this API, which is why we run into sometimes the bots don't work, or sometimes you got to just run it again because they break. It's just so much information going down that sometimes it fails. And I think as OpenAI improves their platforms things will get more stable. As they do updates, it always hurts the stability and the results that we get, the consistency. But I'm very optimistic about this last one. I think they did a good job. So yeah, let me download this now. So here you go. Let's see how many ideas it came up with, because it should be quite a few. So it came up with 67 article ideas for you, gave you the article titles. Each article has its own content pillar, tells you the specific, and the pillar, we mean like a category, right? When I say pillar, just want to be clear, it's like a category. There'll be other articles in this same category. The target keyword, we believe that every page should have one target keyword or one target entity or one concept, because if it has multiple concepts, you're causing ambiguity, you're diluting the potency of that page, because now you're talking about 2 or 3 different things when you should just be talking about that one thing. So then on that page, what are some of the secondary terms that support that target keyword? It tells you what stage of the funnel or the customer's journey that you're speaking to them. So awareness, we know that's very early on, that's very informational. So when you're writing the article, or when you have your marketing person write the article, or when you have your AI write the article, or however you write articles, it's good to know you're at the awareness stage. Gives you an idea of what tone or voice you should be using, and then again suggests what that slug might be. It's entity rich, it's keyword rich. For you to spend the time to research and organize all of this, it's quite a few hours to do a report like this. And if you get into 60 or 100 of these, I mean, that might be your week's worth of work, to be honest, folks. If you're really spending your time like we are to pull the data and really target your industry and niche, I mean, to get a file that looks this good, that's this well thought out, it very well could be a 40-hour work week. I'm not exaggerating. Some of you might do faster, might only be 72. Doesn't matter. It's a huge feat to have automated. Rob, help me out. Data filters, right?
Yep. There you go.
And then I can unselect and look at certain things. So if I'm interested in one of these pillars, let's do the process automation part. I'm interested in process automation. Here are the 5 articles I'm going to write about process optimization. And this is going to help me align my company, my brand, to process optimization. So some of these keywords, and I've never even heard of this stuff. It's not my niche. It's not my industry. I'm not an expert. But if I came to you, Tanu, if I came to you with these ideas and I said, well, time and motion study, engineer labored studies, manufacturing bottlenecks, workflow optimization, optimized staffing, multi-location, I bet you when we're talking process optimization, those are some pretty important things. I don't know. You have to confirm it. It's not my industry, not my niche, but I would imagine those are dead on for you. Cost reduction. Let's just see what that one looks like, just to see. Yeah, so you're going to talk about your labor costs, the strategies, how to do it for manufacturing specifically. So it's just a really nice plan. And again, this is one of the 2,100 bots. This is one report you can get that saves you hours and hours and hours. So if you're going to market, this is how we would go to market. It's how we would do it, because it's going to match the data science side of things. So yeah, that's your whole strategy right there. If you want this, by the way, you can email me direct, ed@contentmaxima.com. It's fine. Don't spam me, everyone else. So yeah. Yeah, I'll share you the doc outputs with you. Absolutely. Just drop a ticket or email ed@contentmaxima. I'll be happy to share this with you. Some of the other ones that were in here, just because we have a few minutes. Emily, you wanted home inspector? We could run a home inspector. Why not, right? So I'll come over to Train AI. Home inspector. Train. Here we go. And that was just the money mapper. We could do the social media content. We could do something else. Those are the two that we've been showing a lot of because we've been really trying to make those work for people because they're powerful and they fill a lot of need. But this is why it's up to you guys to really go through that library. Let Rob and I know what you like, what's missing, what you don't like. So Paul will fix that local schema bot. I have it on my list. And maybe we'll come up with some other ones in whatever categories you guys want. Any other questions while we're waiting for data to export?
I've been kind of watching. I don't see any other ones that popped in yet.
And that's another reason we made the Maxima Bots, because we want you guys to have a reason to keep coming back. I know there'll be quite a few people that get their hands on some Content Maxima reports, and so I'm like, I'm good. I have all the data I need. But the tricky part about that is the world's always changing. This data is always shifting, moving as the AI learns, relearns. The important terms are going to shift and change. The understanding of concepts are going to shift and change. Maybe not drastically, but there's going to be a lot of shifting and changing. So we want to give you guys the opportunity to always stay super relevant, have the freshest data. And as these new models come out, we had somebody last week ask us about the heck did they ask us about? I'm losing my train of thought. I totally lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. I'll go back to Content Maxima, or I'm sorry, Maxima Bots, and we'll hopefully it comes back what I was going to say. So, Emily, do you want me to run the home inspector money mapper, or you want like social media content? I guess I'll do the money mapper first. I can always do social media again too. Let me get rid of this first. Home inspector. And again, I don't really have a good home inspection company, but let's see. Home inspector, Albany, New York is just where I'm located, so we'll find one. Money mapper is good for Emily. Good. All right. Yeah, thanks, Paul. My memory's fried because I don't get a lot of sleep as it is. I got two little ones, and it's tough. Let's see here. All right, so this is a home inspector's data that I'm just copying from the web. And again, based on the context I give it, it's going to skew maybe some of the topics that it would have you talk about to be in alignment with what that business is talking about on their site too. So what was the prompt I just put in Grok? So I have this conversation going with Grok for a while just because it's fast at scraping stuff, where I literally gave it a business information template, which for the record, you guys can get this if you log in. So let me just show this. I know lots of tabs. ContentMaxima.com. You go to my account. You say exclusive members only area. And I have to just log in as an admin because it's just easier for me. But that's where you log in.
Now,
and
just
then it'll
FYI,
give
it's
you
not the same username and password as your actual app. You were emailed
yes.
that when you signed up. So
it is a separate system. So when you're in here, there's a bunch of links to different resources. There's a template in there. So all I said to Grok, basically, Emily, is I said, read this company's website, fill this template out. And I had that conversation going. So now any other company, I'm like, hey, do it for this company, do it for this company. It's just reading their URL and following the same template that I provided. So that template, so you know where that is. I actually have it under Vectra, who started all of this. Vectra was our first attempt at Maxima Bots. It was a custom GPT. But there's this blue hyperlink that's business information template. And I can share this link. I don't, like, it's out there. I don't care, because this is just, it doesn't have to be this, but I just wanted to show you the example of it's your company name, website, industry, niche, target audience, marketing goals, brand and voice, website, social profiles, content examples, competitors, your unique selling proposition, any other relevant information. So really, whatever you want to tell it about the business. But I just made this as a little template so that I could take it over to Grok or whatever and have him fill it out for me faster than I was going to do it. So that's where this is coming from. That's where it's available for you. You can just copy and paste it into the Maxima Bots context area. Again, it gives you up to 5,000. It tells you if it starts to get really big. But let's download this now and take a look at it. And the more context you give it, the less output you'll get, from my understanding, because it's not always going to be the same number. So it did 64 for you. We've been trying to get it to like 100 consistently, but we've run out of context window on the API, depending on the niche and the files. But yeah, let's take a look at this. And I'm going to do the same thing I did for Tanu, which is, let's do the filters so we can see the different pillars. So I don't know if there's something here that is interesting, like maybe the buyer education part of choosing a home inspector. Or yeah, Radon's a big one. But yeah, here are your buyer education articles. And because I chose a company in Albany, New York, I want you to see how it's customized. So how to choose the best home inspector in Saratoga, Albany, or Glens Falls. So it very much is using keywords that are relevant to this business that I took and personalized. If I hadn't personalized the data set and I reran this, the results will not have all of these upstate New York, Albany, New York, Saratoga, New York. That will not be in here for you. Your stuff would be in there. Or if you left it blank, it would just be industry and niche stuff. It would not be geolocation. It would not be brand name. It would not be, you know, the products and services that you're doing, right? So it's personalized, the data. So I hope that's clear for you guys too, that this first box where it says upload your Content Maxima files, you're training the industry and niche. You're giving the robot, the AI, the perfect data set. It's already been done for you. That way you can maximize your results. That's why these are Maxima Bots. So it's maximizing the results for you from the starting gate. This is what sets us apart than anybody else who's got an AI agent, any other marketing tool, is we're training it with that perfect data set. Then if you want to personalize it, you personalize it here. If I delete this stuff and I rerun this, so I'm gonna click generate again. So I'll rate it to make sure we keep saying it's good. I'm gonna regenerate now. And we'll see in the file, you'll see that some of that personalization gets stripped out now, and it'll just be about being a home inspector. So things will change, and it's not going to be the same output every time. So if you don't get the output that you want, run it again, right? And as we learn to do better, be better, do crazier things, daisy chain these bots together, we have all sorts of plans, but it's a learning process. And that's why we try to be as transparent as possible with you guys, because this is a baby. It's only a couple weeks old, right? Content Maxima has been around for a couple of years now that Rob and I have been putting the polishing touches on it, but actually being able to demonstrate and show that our software isn't just a software, it's a framework for any AI. Because that's most businesses' problems. That's the world's problem right now. You don't have nice, clean data. If you go to your home inspector's company, say, give me all the home inspector data you have, your brochures, your files, your data, it's just not going to be formatted. Like, it's not going to be clean. It's not going to be ready. So we're trying to take the stress and the burden of that initial heavy lift. And then if you want, you personalize it a little bit. Because we know the personalization, that's when things start to get a little murky, right? Because that's the data coming from the business who's not perfectly organized. So we do it at the next step, if that makes sense. We train the AI perfectly on the niche and industry, then we personalize it to the business, if you want it that way. So yeah, let's download this one and just see. Let's see if it outputted more. I don't know that it did. So instantly I can see between the two windows. I'm going to just toggle so you can see this. This one here was the upstate New York one. You'll see like in column D, first row, that upstate New York, Saratoga Springs, those keywords are there. When I jump over here, I don't see Saratoga and upstate New York. So it's gotten rid of that personalization aspect to it. But same thing, we can look at the different content pillars here. Data. Well, first enable editing. Data, filter, and you could do your drop down. So I don't know, for buyers or for sellers, let's just see the difference. Is a pre-listing inspection worth it for sellers? Pros and cons. I don't know, is it? Let's take a look at for buyers. Let's see what it's got. Yeah, so home inspection for luxury properties, for vacation homes. Should you waive a home inspection to win a bidding war? Now that's a real nice long tail topic to cover. And look at target keyword, waive home inspection. That's got to be a spicy topic. I'm not in your industry, but that's got to be the one, Emily. Waiving your home inspection. I'm sure people weigh that all the time. I would never do it, but I'm pretty conservative in those types of things. I don't like to risk it. When it's robots, I'll be a lot more risky. So there is your two different plans. One was personalized, one was not. Just because I have a couple more minutes, I'll go over to the social media one. Uh-oh, I got a 404, Rob. You see that? We got to kill that 404. Yeah, so things will still be a little glitchy here and there. That's why we ask you guys to just help us. Because for something that's a couple weeks old, it's amazing, but it's still got some bumps. So yeah, here I am. I still have my home inspector stuff loaded. Here's that business information still loaded. So it remembers the information I give it, which is a nice addition. So yeah, let me generate a social calendar now. So my hope for you guys is you'll get a couple of these bots you really like, that you like to use all the time, that really help your workflow. And you'll favorite them. You have a favorites list in here. You can favorite them. And then, yeah, like if you're in a specific industry or niche, you got a couple clients, you can just run down the line. I'm going to run this bot, this bot, that bot, boom. I get all my files, and now I know exactly what to go do. There's no longer, the research part of this, the organizing, the planning, like just get right to the executing. It's no longer a question, what do I execute? No, do it this way. And if you do it this way, just remember, the whole system is designed to help you regardless of what platform you're on. Regardless of what algorithm you're battling, we're focusing in on those keywords, those trigger words that the algorithm needs to see, that expects to see, that helps your brand become identifiable. Because if your brand's not identifiable as a home inspection brand, or as a window installer, or as a HVAC, or a plumber, whatever niche industry you're in, if you can't be identified, you'll never be recommended. And that's the world's problem. Most people do not have the DNA sequence, the digital DNA, to be recognized, to be identified. So you go into the void. No one finds you. You don't get traffic. Nobody shares your stuff. you just get buried. It just pushes you into the void because it doesn't know. And it's not going to spend the time to figure it out because it's got trillions of other things to go read. So anything else here as we're waiting on this social? Uh-oh. Rob, are you still there? I don't know if
Yeah.
my connection dropped out or if you dropped out. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I muted it for a minute. Somebody knocked at the door, so.
Oh.
But I'm back.
Nice.
Can't get rid of me that easy.
I'm just trying a social bot. It failed this first time, but I don't know if it was a connection thing. I thought we froze, but I'm going to run it again.
There's the thing. There's so many ways to use this stuff that's just crazy. I mean, it's infinite, really. And then we have people that have figured out ways to use it even that we didn't even think about, right? And then build it into their entire process from designing their website to email marketing to funnels to content planning to social media posting, all that kind of stuff. So that's the fun part, seeing how everybody's using the data, basically.
Well, I think what's nice too is as people see this, like we're trying to build this universal tool that works for everybody across every niche and industry. But some of you are sitting in very specific industries, right? I think like Jordan does like LASIK only. Ed does attorneys, right? There's a lot of people we know that stick to like one type of industry, and that's where you guys have a huge opportunity too, because it's like you can be taking the Content Maxima data for your industry and be building tools just like we are. We're completely transparent that Maxima Bots, we vibe coded this. That's why it's still a little glitchy, right? Like we haven't put our dev team on this to smooth it all out. I mean, this is me speaking natural language to robots and telling it what to do. So yeah, it's sure as heck not perfect because I'm not a developer. I'm never going to raise my hand and say I am a developer. Do I know enough about development to be dangerous? Yes. But am I a developer? No. So you guys, I hope you see Content Maxima as more than just these files. If you take any of the reports we give you out of Content Maxima, it's powerful, but it's not as that's not all that happens. So yeah, this one's failing. I don't know if I need to fix this bot or if it's just too much context. I'm going to delete the context and see if it'll work or not. Otherwise, we're just going to have to revisit. We seem to be getting some JSON errors, but we're going to hammer out all these things because then once they're all hammered out, we'll start bringing in the Maxima Bot people, all the users that we can get our hands on and try to convince people to run their businesses with us. And this one's giving me a little bit of trouble because I'm being very ambitious. I'm trying to do 7 social media platforms at once. So a month of social posts across 7 different platforms. So it's a lot of ask. So it fails more than maybe some of the other ones do. But that's what we're learning too, is like the limits on all of these. If we go too far, scale it back a little bit. And it is very much like stretching a rubber band. I've used that terminology in previous weeks, but that's what it feels like. Figuring out the Goldilocks. And you guys will let us know too, because you're all going to be on different OpenAI tiers. If you're just starting off, you'll be tier 1. If you spend, I think it's like $50, you become tier 2, and then $100 tier 3. And you got to wait like 7 days to be upgraded. But the tiers very much will affect your experience too, just because it's the rate of which and the amount of which of data that can travel across the API for you. And I'm going to go in and see what failed on these too, Rob, because we have the debugger. So if
Yeah.
it doesn't go through again, we'll get it working again. And that's another tricky part with vibe coding. If I can offer you guys anything on vibe coding, it's very much tricky because you'll do something and break other things. So yeah, Paul says it's failing for him too. He just tried to run it 3 times. It's failing for me too. So it's definitely one I got to jump in and look at real quick. Let me just jump into the admin side and I'll give you guys a sneak peek and we'll see what kind of error it was. Maybe we can figure out what it is now. So that last one was a complete fetch fail. The previous one succeeded, but the JSON failed. So it was something with the parsing of the JSON because it actually succeeded. See that, Rob?
Yeah.
So I got to figure that out because it's getting the data back, but then it's failing when it tries to show that data.
Yeah, to parse it out.
To parse it out. Oh, and look here, this could have been somebody else too, because look at this is a tier 2, so that wouldn't have even been me, Rob. So here's my tier 5, because we can see the different. This isn't tracking the user, but it's telling us how long the script ran, what tier it was run at, how many tokens went in, how many tokens came out, which model they were using, why it finished. So yeah, we have other users trying this stuff right now. Facebook ad copy, Facebook content calendar. So people are obviously in here testing. We appreciate it. So let us know what's working, what's not. I got to go fix social media content calendar. I got it. I'll go fix that one. I got to fix the local schema bot. I'll go fix that one. But some of these other ones that people are using are obviously working nicely. So, all right. I don't have much more for this week. Paul saying he was tier 2. Yeah, all these tiers, it's going to be really helpful for us to know what your experience is like, because different tiers are going to have a different experience. It may someday make sense to offer like a tier 5 experience where instead of you guys worrying about API keys and stuff, you just we just give you our key basically and you can run. But the tricky part about that is everybody has different usage, right? So we felt like letting you put your own API key in, then you only get billed based on your usage. So if you're just a small little freelancer, you're spending $1 here, $1 there to get stuff done, maybe a couple pennies here, pennies there. If you're a big agency, you could be spending thousands of dollars on the API. So it's very hard to provide a subscription to people who do very different scales of operations. So that's why it's formatted this way. And that's why we have you guys put in your key. And then as you guys spend money on your OpenAI API key, you'll build trust, you'll build bandwidth and capacity. Because as you go up in the tiers, you can communicate more, faster, all that stuff. You get priority. So is something that will slowly work itself out and get better and better as you use it. And if something does fail, just retry it 2 or 3 times. If it's failing after that, then just let us know and we'll fix it for you guys. So big update to Maxima Bots. Come next week with any questions or feedback you have for us. If it does something awesome for you, we would love a testimonial. If it doesn't do something awesome for you, we would love a ticket. All right, that's the deal. We'd love a ticket to really polish this up to take it to market, because that's what we're doing here in 2026. So again, anybody who is not familiar with us, who's here for the first time, we have some new faces and names and stuff here tonight. When you subscribe to Content Maxima, you get all of our software modules that are listed here on the website, and now you get all of the 2100 Maxima Bots that are listed on the other website as a bonus. So big opportunity to do lots with content, big opportunity to do affiliate marketing if you're interested in that at all. So, all right, folks, I think that's it for me. Rob, anything else you want to say to these fine people before we let them go?
No, that's all I got.
Excited
to get started with the marketing side of all this. So.
Catch us next Monday same time, same place, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. If you can't, we'll have the replays up. So this will be up on YouTube as well as in the members area. And thank you all so much for coming this evening. And we're happy to see some new names and faces. If you have questions, please let us know. And yeah, have a great night.
See you guys. Have a good one.
Take care.